Ever seen a wild-looking hot rod and thought you knew what it was, only to realise you're totally clueless? Yeah, same. And guess what? Even hardcore car enthusiasts have those moments. Take the 1980 Ford M81 McLaren Mustang prototype, for example. Ever heard of it? Probably not. Most Fox body fans haven't. But this car is crazy rare. It's the fourth of only 10 ever built, and it's practically untouched with just 556 original miles. And here's the best part. It's hitting the auction block at Dana Meekum's 36th original Spring Classic in Indianapolis. Alongside it, around 3,000 other jaw-dropping cars, plus Hot Rod's senior editor, KJ Jones, will be there covering all the action. So buckle up, because this Mustang isn't just rare, it's one of the most exotic Fox bodies ever made. Let's dive into what makes it so special. Alright, let's talk about what makes the 1980 M81 McLaren Mustang such a unicorn. Sure, we've seen rare Fox bodies before, like our 86 T-top coupe, but this Mustang, it takes rare to a whole new level. This car was born from a wild collaboration between Ford and McLaren Corporation. Yep, the race car legends. Ford wanted a performance-focused Mustang that could compete in the IMSA racing series, but needed something other than their 4.2-litre V8. So they went with a turbocharged 2.3-litre inline-four Lima engine, blueprinted, deburred, and tuned for action. Add in an IMSA-inspired body kit, upgraded suspension for razor-sharp handling, and a race-ready interior, and you've got a Mustang like no other. Here's the kicker. Ford planned to build 250 of these beasts. But slow sales slammed the brakes on that idea. In the end, only 10 cars were hand-built, 7 in Bittersweet Orange, 2 in Enduro Blue, and 1 each in black and white. Back in 1980, V8s just weren't what they are today. The 5.0-litre V8 from the 79 Indy 500 pace car? Yeah, it was cool, but it only made 140 horsepower. And thanks to the US fuel crisis, Ford didn't even offer it in 1980. The big engine that year was a 4.2-litre V8 making 119 horsepower. So instead, Ford and McLaren turned to the 2.3-litre turbocharged inline-four Lima engine, and McLaren worked their magic. They blueprinted and polished the engine, paired it with a T3 Garrett turbo, and cranked up the boost to 11 psi. The result? A surprising 175 horsepower and 145 pound-feet of torque. Not bad for a lightweight IMSA-inspired coupe. Alright, if you're used to the more familiar 5.0-litre Fox Mustangs from the early 80s, you might scratch your head when checking out the 1980 M81 McLaren Mustang. It's a Fox body, sure, but it doesn't look much like the ones you're used to. The biggest, most eye-catching difference? The bodywork. This Mustang has bulged, widened steel fenders, not fiberglass, and they've got active brake cooling ducts that give it a serious IMSA race car vibe. And that's just the start. Check out the rear glass. It's got a slightly curved design, borrowed straight from the Mercury Capri, instead of the Mustang's usual flat hatch. And there's no passenger side mirror, just another quirky detail that sets this car apart. But don't worry, Mustang is stamped boldly across the rear, just in case anyone's confused. Now let's talk about the interior. This isn't your average 80s Mustang cockpit. Inside you'll find a bolt-in SCCA-legal roll bar, not just for safety, but to stiffen the unibody chassis. Add in Recaro LS bucket seats, a custom gauge cluster with Stuart Warner dials, and a 14-inch leather-wrapped sport steering wheel, and you've got a cabin that screams race ready. And fun fact, the center console info center, that's a 1979 Fox body part that Ford kept using all the way until 1986. Let's take a look at what's happening underneath this rare M81 McLaren Mustang, because the details here are pretty wild. The original tyres might be long gone, but the new owner still gets a set of P255, 55, R15 Firestone HPR tyres with the car. Right now though, it's rolling on 15 by 8-inch BBS Mahle wheels, wrapped in 255/60 R15 Cooper Cobra radial GT tyres, a classic aggressive look that fits this Mustang's racing pedigree perfectly. But the real magic is in the suspension. Ford went with a heavy-duty setup, featuring adjustable Koni shocks and struts, plus sway bars, springs and bushings, borrowed from the Ford Fairmont police package. Yep, this was way before the SSP Fox bodies became a thing. And when it's time to slow this rare pony down, it's got 10.6-inch discs up front and 9-inch drums in the rear. Solid stopping power for its era. Now, if that front end looks familiar, good eye. It's basically the same fascia as the 1979 Indy Pace car and 1982 GT, except there are no fog lights, and the grille is closed off. Plus, thanks to wind tunnel testing, the chin spoiler actually works, helping with high-speed stability. And that fiberglass heat-extracting hood, it's not just for show. It helps keep that turbocharged 2.3-litre cool under pressure. And here's a fun bit of trivia. This exact Mustang toured Ford dealerships across the US in 1980 to promote the M81 McLaren Mustang project. Back then it had a $25,000 price tag, a pretty penny for a Mustang at the time. So that's the story behind this rare M81 McLaren Mustang, packed with racing DNA, unique design, and serious performance history. What do you think about this one-of-a-kind Fox body? Would you bid on it? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for more rare car deep dives.